Deuteronomy 28. So then, if you will listen to the voice of the Lord your God, so as to keep and do all of his commandments, which I instruct to you this day, the Lord your God will cause you to be more exalted than all the nations which exist upon the earth. And all these blessings shall come to you and take hold of you, but only if you listen to his precepts. Blessed shall you be in the city, and blessed in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of your loins, and the fruit of your land, and the fruit of your cattle, the droves of your herds, and the folds of your sheep. Blessed shall be your barns, and blessed your storehouses. Blessed shall you be entering and departing. The Lord will grant that your enemies, who rise up against you, will fall down in your sight. They will come against you by one way, and they will flee from your face by 7 ways. The Lord will send forth a blessing upon your cellars, and upon all the works of your hands. And he will bless you in the land that you shall receive. The Lord will raise you up as a holy people for himself, just as he swore to you, if you will keep the commandments of the Lord your God, and walk in his ways. And all the peoples of the earth shall see that the name of the Lord has been invoked over you, and they shall fear you. The Lord will cause you be abundant in every good thing, in the fruit of your womb, and in the fruit of your cattle, and in the fruit of your land, which the Lord swore to your fathers that he would give to you. The Lord will open his excellent treasury, the heavens, so that it may distribute rain in due time. And he will bless all the works of your hands. And you shall lend to many nations, but you yourself will borrow nothing from anyone. And the Lord will appoint you as the head, and not as the tail. And you shall be always above, and not beneath. But only if you will listen to the commandments of the Lord your God, which I entrust to you this day, and will keep and do them. And will not turn aside from them, neither to the right, nor to the left, nor follow strange gods, nor worship them. But if you are not willing to listen to the voice of the Lord your God, so as to keep and do all his commandments and ceremonies, which I instruct to you this day, all these curses shall come to you, and take hold of you. Cursed shall you be in the city, cursed in the field. Cursed shall be your barn, and cursed your storehouses. Cursed shall be the fruit of your loins, and the fruit of your land, the herds of your oxen, and the flocks of your sheep. Cursed shall you be entering, and cursed departing. The Lord will send famine and hunger upon you, and a rebuke upon all the works that you do, until he quickly crushes and perishes you, because of your very wicked innovations, by which you have forsaken me. May the Lord join a pestilence to you, until he consumes you from the land, which you shall enter so as to possess. May the Lord strike you with destitution, with fever and cold, with burning and heat, and with polluted air and rot, and may he pursue you until you perish. May the heavens which are above you be of brass, and may the ground upon which you tread be of iron. May the Lord give you dust instead of rain upon your land, and may ashes descend from heaven over you, until you have been wiped away. May the Lord hand you over to fall before your enemies. May you go forth against them by one way, and flee by 7 ways, and may you be scattered across all the kingdoms of the earth. And may your carcass be food for all the flying things of the air and the wild beasts of the land, and may there be no one to drive them away. May the Lord strike you with the ulcer of Egypt, and may he strike the part of your body, through which the dung goes out, with disease as well as itch, so much so that you are unable to be cured. May the Lord strike you with frenzy and blindness and a madness of the mind. And may you grope at midday, just as a blind man is accustomed to grope in darkness, and may your paths not be straight. And at all times may you suffer slander and be oppressed with violence, and may you have no one who may free you. May you take a wife, though another sleeps with her. May you build a house, but not live within it. May you plant a vineyard, and not gather its vintage. May your ox be immolated before you, though you do not eat from it. May your donkey be seized in your sight, and not restored to you. May your sheep be given to your enemies, and may there be no one who may help you. May your sons and your daughters be handed over to another people, as your eyes watch and languish at the sight of them throughout the day, and may there be no strength in your hand. May a people you do not know eat the fruits of your land and of all your labors. And may you continually suffer from slander and oppression every day. And may you be stupefied at the terror of the things your eyes will see. May the Lord strike you with a very grievous ulcer in the knees and in the legs, and may you be unable to attain health, from the sole of the foot to the top of the head. May the Lord lead you and your king, whom you will have appointed over yourself, into a nation which you and your fathers have not known. And there you will serve foreign gods, of wood and of stone. And you will become nothing but a proverb and a fable to all the peoples to whom the Lord will lead you. You will sow much seed upon the ground, but you will harvest little. For the locusts will devour everything. You will dig and plant a vineyard, but you will not drink the wine, nor gather anything at all from it. For it will be devastated by worms. You will have olive trees in all your borders, but you will not be anointed with the oil. For the olives will fall off and perish. You will conceive sons and daughters, and you will not enjoy them. For they will be led into captivity. Rot will consume all the trees, as well as the fruits of your land. The new arrival who lives with you in the land will ascend over you, and be higher. But you will descend, and be lower. He will lend to you, and you will not lend to him. He will be as the head, and you will be as the tail. And all these curses shall come to you, and shall pursue you, and shall take hold of you, until you pass away, because you would not listen to the voice of the Lord your God, and you would not serve his commandments and ceremonies, which he has instructed to you. And there will be the signs and portents with you, and with your offspring, forever. Because you did not serve the Lord your God, with gladness and a joyful heart, over the abundance of all things. You will serve your enemy, whom the Lord will send to you, in hunger and thirst and nakedness, and in destitution of all things. And he will place an iron yoke upon your neck, until he has crushed you. The Lord will lead over you a nation from far away, even from the furthest parts of the earth, like an eagle flying with great force, whose language you are not able to understand. A very insolent nation, which will show no deference to elders, nor take pity on little ones. And he will devour the fruit of your cattle, and the fruits of your land, until you have passed away, without leaving behind you wheat, or wine, or oil, or herds of oxen, or flocks of sheep, until he utterly destroys you. And he will crush you in all your cities. And your strong and lofty walls, in which you trusted, will be destroyed throughout all your land. You will be besieged within your gates throughout all your land, which the Lord your God will give to you. And you will eat the fruit of your womb, and the flesh of your sons and of your daughters, which the Lord your God will give to you, due to the anguish and devastation with which your enemy will oppress you. The man who is pampered and very self-indulgent among you will vie with his own brother, and with the wife who lies at his bosom. Lest he give to them from the flesh of his sons, which he will eat. For he has nothing else due to the siege and the destitution, with which your enemies will devastate you within all your gates. The tender and pampered woman, who would not walk upon the soil, nor step firmly with her foot due to her very great softness and tenderness, will vie with her husband, who lies at her bosom, over the flesh of son and of daughter. And over the filth of the afterbirth, which goes forth from between her thighs, and over the children who are born in the same hour. For they will eat them secretly, due to the scarcity of all things during the siege and the devastation, with which your enemy will oppress you within your gates. If you will not keep and do all the words of this law, which have been written in this volume, and fear his glorious and terrible name, that is, the Lord your God, then the Lord will increase your plagues, and the plagues of your offspring, plagues great and long-lasting, infirmities very grievous and continuous. And he will turn back upon you all the afflictions of Egypt, which you fear, and these will cling to you. In addition, the Lord will lead over you all the diseases and plagues that are not written in the volume of this law, until he crushes you. And you will remain few in number, though you were before like the stars of heaven in multitude, because you would not listen to the voice of the Lord your God. And just as before, when the Lord rejoiced over you, doing good for you and multiplying you, so shall he rejoice, scattering and overturning you, so as to take you away from the land, which you shall enter in order to possess. The Lord will disperse you among all the peoples, from the heights of the earth to its furthest limits. And there you will serve foreign gods of wood and of stone, which you and your fathers did not know. Similarly, you will not have tranquility, even within those nations, nor will there be any rest for the steps of your feet. For the Lord will give to you in that place a fearful heart, and failing eyes, and a life consumed with grieving. And your life will be as if it were hanging before you. You will be afraid night and day, and you will not have confidence in your own life. In the morning you will say, "Who will grant evening to me?" And at evening, "Who will grant morning to me?" Because of the dread of your heart, with which you will be terrified, and because of those things that you will see with your eyes. The Lord will lead you back into Egypt with a fleet of ships, along the way, about which he said to you that you would not see it again. In that place, you will be put up for sale as men and women servants to your enemies, but there will be no one willing to buy you. Deuteronomy 29. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord instructed Moses to form with the sons of Israel in the land of Moab, beside that covenant which he struck with them at Horeb. And Moses called all of Israel, and he said to them, "You have seen all the things that the Lord has done in your sight in the land of Egypt to Pharaoh, and to all his servants, and to his entire land. The great trials, which your eyes have seen, those immense signs and wonders. But the Lord has not given you an understanding heart, and seeing eyes, and ears that are able to hear, even to this present day. He led you for 40 years through the desert. Your garments have not been worn out, nor have the shoes on your feet been consumed by age. You did not eat bread, nor did you drink wine or liquor, so that you would know that I am the Lord your God. And you arrived at this place. And Sihon, the king of Heshbon, and Og, the king of Bashan, went out to meet us in battle. And we struck them down. And we took their land and delivered it as a possession to Reuben and to Gad, and to half of the tribe of Manasseh. Therefore, keep the words of this covenant, and fulfill them, so that you may understand all that you are doing. Today, you all stand in the sight of the Lord your God, your leaders, and tribes, and those greater by birth, and teachers, all the people of Israel. Your children and wives, and the new arrival who dwells with you in the camp, aside from those who cut wood, and those who bring water. So that you may cross into the covenant of the Lord your God, and into the oath which the Lord your God strikes with you today. So shall he raise you up as a people to himself, and so shall he be your God, just as he has spoken to you, and just as he swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And I am not forming this covenant and confirm these oaths with you alone, but with all those who are present as well as those who are absent. For you know how we lived in the land of Egypt, and how we passed through the midst of nations. And when passing through them, you saw their abominations and filth, that is, their idols of wood and of stone, of silver and of gold, which they worshipped. So that there would not be among you man or woman, family or tribe, whose heart has been turned away this day from the Lord our God, so as to go and serve the gods of those nations. For then there would be among you a root springing forth gall and bitterness. And if he were to hear the words of this oath, he would bless himself in his own heart, saying, "There will be peace for me, and I will walk in the depravity of my heart," and so, the one who is inebriated would consume the one who is thirsty. But the Lord would not ignore him. Instead, at that time, his fury and zealousness would be very greatly inflamed against that man, and all the curses which have been written in this volume would settle upon him. And the Lord would abolish his name from under heaven, and consume him unto perdition out of all the tribes of Israel, according to the curses which are contained in the book of this law and in the covenant. And the subsequent generation would speak out, along with the sons who will be born afterward. And the sojourners, who will arrive from far away, will see the plagues of that land and the infirmities with which the Lord will have afflicted it, having burned it with sulfur and molten salt, so that it can no longer be sown. And certainly no greenery would spring up, as in the example of the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah and Zeboiim, which the Lord overturned with his wrath and fury. And so, all the nations would say, "Why has the Lord acted this way toward this land? What is this immense wrath of his fury?" And they will respond, "Because they abandoned the covenant of the Lord, which he formed with their fathers, when he led them away from the land of Egypt. And they have served foreign gods, and adored them, though they did not know them, and though they had not been allotted to them. For this reason, the fury of the Lord was enraged against this land, so as to lead over it all the curses which have been written in this volume. And he has cast them out of their own land, with anger and fury, and with a very great indignation, and he has thrown them into a strange land, just as has been proven this day. These hidden things of the Lord our God have been revealed to us and to our sons in perpetuity, so that we may accomplish all the words of this law." Deuteronomy 30. Now when all these things will have fallen over you, the blessing or the curse that I have set forth in your sight, and you will have been led to repentance in your heart among all the nations to which the Lord your God will have dispersed you. And when you will have returned to him, so as to obey his commandments, just as I have instructed you this day, with your sons, with your whole heart and with your whole soul. Then the Lord your God will lead you away from your captivity, and he will take pity on you, and he will gather you again from all the nations to which he had dispersed you before. Even if you will have been scattered as far as the poles of the heavens, the Lord your God will retrieve you from there. And he will take you up and lead you into the land which your fathers had possessed, and you shall obtain it. And in blessing you, he will make you greater in number than your fathers ever were. The Lord your God will circumcise your heart, and the heart of your offspring, so that you may love the Lord your God with your entire heart and with your entire soul, so that you may be able to live. And he will turn all these curses upon your enemies, and upon those who hate and persecute you. But you shall return, and you shall listen to the voice of the Lord your God. And you shall carry out all the commandments which I am entrusting to you this day. And the Lord your God will cause you to abound in all the works of your hands, in the progeny of your womb, and in the fruit of your cattle, in the fertility of your land, and with an abundance of all things. For the Lord will return, so that he may rejoice over you in all good things, just as he rejoiced in your fathers. But only if you will listen to the voice of the Lord your God, and keep his precepts and ceremonies, which have been written in this law, and only if you return to the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. This commandment, which I entrust to you today, is not high above you, nor has it been placed far away. Nor is it in heaven, so that you would be able to say, "Which of us can ascend to heaven, so as to carry it back to us, and so that we may hear it and fulfill it indeed?" Nor is it beyond the sea, so that you would excuse yourself by saying, "Which of us is able to cross the sea, and to carry it back to us, so that we may be able to hear and to do what has been instructed?" Instead, the word is near to you, in your mouth and in your heart, so that you may do it. Consider what I have set forth in your sight this day, life and good, or, on the opposite side, death and evil. So that you may love the Lord your God, and walk in his ways, and keep his commandments and ceremonies and judgments, and so that you may live, and he may multiply you and bless you in the land, which you shall enter in order to possess. But if your heart will have been turned aside, so that you are not willing to listen, and, having been deceived by error, you adore strange gods and serve them, then I predict to you this day that you will perish, and you will remain for only a short time in the land, for which you shall cross the Jordan, and which you shall enter in order to possess. I call heaven and earth as witnesses this day, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Therefore, choose life, so that both you and your offspring may live. And so that you may love the Lord your God, and obey his voice, and cling to him, and so that you may live in the land, about which the Lord swore to your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that he would give it to them. Thank you for watching. If you like the content on this channel, please press subscribe, the like button or comment below. We'd love to get your tips. See you next time.